My big fat fabulous life star Whitney Thor is excited to show off her new family members to the world. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, My Big Fat Fabulous Life. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Many fans were surprised to learn that Whitney has a half-sister named Angie through her father Glenn. This season, Whitney and her brother Hunter decided it was the perfect time to connect with Angie. Recently, the TLC star decided to introduce Angie and her daughter to her Instagram viewers. See how fans reacted to the big reveal. Whitney Thor shows off her newfound family members. My Big Fat Fabulous Life fans knew this was definitely going to be one memorable season. Right off the bat, the season kicked off with Bab's funeral. Now, Whitney Thor and her brother Hunter have to care for their father Glenn, while the entire family grieves. But there is some good news. Whitney and Hunter have a half-sister they get to meet and reconnect with. Glenn Thor revealed that he had a daughter with another woman. According to Whitney and her family, the Thors had no contact with Angie up until they decided to reach out to her. Now that they connected, it seems like they're making up for lost time. Whitney uploaded an Instagram video featuring Angie and her daughter. Not only did Whitney and Hunter gain a sister, they got a niece too. I never imagined I'd have a big sister. Can't wait for y'all to formally meet Angie and my niece Jame. Glenn Thor makes no mistakes, I am in my era. The TLC star captioned her Instagram video. The women are all smiles. What a blessing to find more family and make connections, especially after loss, one fan wrote in the comments. I just have to say that I have so much respect for how you handle everything you and your family have been through over the last year or so, another added. You handle all situations with such dignity and grace. I love you and your family. Keep being you, Whitney. A few others pointed out that Angie bore a striking resemblance to Glenn. Is there a half-brother as well? Although many fans are excited to see Whitney Thor connect with Angie, plenty of viewers are also confused. It's also been widely reported that Glenn Thor has a son with a woman that he fathered while serving in Japan. But so far, there seems to be more questions than answers about that. What do you think about this storyline? Are you excited to see Whitney connect with her half-sister Angie? Share what you think in the comments. Check back soon for more updates on My Big Fat Fabulous Life. New episodes air on TLC Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The world of reality television has its share of unexpected twists and heartwarming moments. Whitney Thor, the vivacious star of My Big Fat Fabulous Life, recently experienced one of those moments herself. It was a sunny afternoon when Whitney received a call that would change her life forever. She had just finished her morning workout routine and was sipping a green smoothie when her phone buzzed. The caller ID displayed a number she didn't recognize. Curiosity piqued, she answered. "Hello, is this Whitney Thor?" asked a gentle voice on the other end. "Yes, this is she," Whitney replied, a hint of skepticism in her voice. "My name is Angie," the voice continued, "and I have some news that might come as a shock. I believe we are sisters." Whitney nearly dropped her smoothie. Sisters? This had to be some kind of prank. Her mind raced with questions, doubts, and a sliver of hope. "Can we meet?" Angie asked, sensing Whitney's hesitation. "I think it's important that we talk face to face." With a mixture of excitement and anxiety, Whitney agreed. They arranged to meet at a cozy cafe downtown. The hours leading up to their meeting were a whirlwind of emotions for Whitney. She thought about her family, her childhood, and the possibility that she had a sister she never knew about. When Whitney arrived at the cafe, she spotted Angie immediately. Angie was a striking woman with a warm smile and eyes that mirrored Whitney's own. They embraced awkwardly at first, both trying to process the reality of the situation. As they settled into their seats, Angie began to explain. "I was adopted as a baby. A few months ago, I decided to look for my biological family. After some research and a DNA test, I found out that we share the same father." Whitney listened intently, her heart pounding in her chest. It was a lot to take in, but as Angie continued to speak, Whitney felt a connection forming. They talked for hours, sharing stories of their lives, their struggles, and their dreams. It was as if they had known each other forever. By the end of the meeting, Whitney was convinced that Angie was indeed her sister. They hugged again, this time with more warmth and certainty. Whitney couldn't wait to introduce Angie to the rest of the Thor family. Introducing Angie to the rest of the Thor family was a nerve-wracking yet exciting prospect for Whitney. She knew her parents would be supportive, but she wasn't sure how they would react to the news of having another daughter. The Thors were a close-knit family, and adding a new member was bound to stir up a range of emotions. Whitney decided to host a family dinner at her place. She wanted the setting to be comfortable and intimate. She spent the day preparing, cooking her family's favorite dishes, and making sure everything was perfect. As the evening approached, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Her parents, Glenn and Barbara Thor, arrived first. They were in high spirits, unaware of the surprise that awaited them. Whitney greeted them with a hug and led them into the living room. They chatted casually for a while, catching up on each other's lives. "Mom, Dad, I have something important to tell you," Whitney said, her voice trembling slightly. "I've recently discovered that I have a sister. Her name is Angie, and she's here tonight." Glenn and Barbara exchanged surprised glances. Before they could respond, the doorbell rang. Whitney took a deep breath and went to open the door. Angie stood there, looking both excited and nervous. "Mom, Dad, this is Angie," Whitney said, leading her sister into the room. "Angie, these are our parents, Glenn and Barbara." There was a moment of silence as Glenn and Barbara processed the news. Then, with tears in their eyes, they embraced Angie. It was a heartfelt moment that none of them would ever forget. They spent the rest of the evening talking, laughing, and getting to know each other. The Thor family had just gotten a little bigger, and it felt like Angie had always been a part of it. As if discovering a new sister wasn't enough, Whitney was in for another surprise. Angie had a daughter named Lily, which meant Whitney also had a niece. The thought of having a niece filled Whitney with joy. She had always loved children, and the idea of having a niece to spoil was thrilling. A few days after the family dinner, Whitney arranged to meet Lily. They decided to meet at a local park, a place where Lily could play and everyone could relax. Whitney arrived early, her heart fluttering with anticipation. She spotted Angie and Lily as they approached the park. Lily was a cheerful little girl with curly hair and a bright smile. "Hi, Whitney," Angie called out, waving. Whitney waved back and walked over to meet them. She crouched down to Lily's level and smiled warmly. "Hi, Lily. I'm your Aunt Whitney." Lily looked at Whitney with wide eyes, then broke into a big grin. "Hi, Aunt Whitney," she said, wrapping her small arms around Whitney's neck. Whitney's heart melted. She hugged Lily tightly, feeling an instant bond with her niece. They spent the afternoon playing on the swings, climbing the jungle gym, and eating ice cream. Whitney and Angie chatted like old friends, sharing stories about their lives and dreams for the future. Lily quickly became the center of attention. She was a curious and energetic child, full of questions and ideas. Whitney loved every minute of it. She felt a deep connection to Lily, as if she had known her forever. As the sun began to set, they sat on a bench, watching Lily play with other children. Whitney turned to Angie and said, "I'm so glad you found me. I can't imagine my life without you and Lily in it now." Angie smiled, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Me too, Whitney. Me too." The initial excitement of meeting Angie and Lily eventually gave way to the realities of integrating a new family dynamic. Whitney was determined to make it work, but she knew it wouldn't be without challenges. She had her own busy life, and balancing her career, personal time, and new family responsibilities was going to require some adjustments. Whitney's friends were supportive, albeit surprised by the sudden development. Buddy, her best friend and confidant, was particularly curious about how she was handling everything. "How are you feeling about all this?" Buddy asked one evening as they sat on Whitney's porch. "It's a lot to take in," Whitney admitted, "but I'm happy, really happy. Angie and Lily feel like the missing pieces of my life. It's just adjusting, you know." Buddy nodded. "Yeah, I get it. But you've always been great at adapting. You'll make it work." Whitney smiled, grateful for Buddy's unwavering support. She knew that having him and her other friends by her side would make the transition smoother. Meanwhile, Angie was also navigating her new relationship with the Thor family. She and Whitney spent more time together, sharing their stories and learning about each other. They found that they had many similarities, from their love of dancing to their quirky sense of humor. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day.